there dwells Zereth, minor lord of dad jokes, whose mind is overthrown. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zereth Prevails. We're in the Plan, which is my weekly show talking about all the different things that are happening on the holotables, and about a little bit about just generalized Star Wars stuff as well, as we try to integrate that a little bit into this show. And I just recorded this, and I even did a second take, and then I realized that my microphone wasn't working. So this might, I'll probably lose some details. It'll be fun. We'll have a good time, folks. I probably won't end up putting the jumps in there, not for a little bit. The whatever they're called. See, I'm tired. Let's mount the algorithm real quick, folks. If you want to support the channel for free, all you've got to do is like, subscribe, and comment on this video. If you're a madman, you can always ding that bell. I've never liked the word ding. I don't know if you guys do. I don't know. I guess I like the word dingy. I don't really, actually. I don't know why I said I like it when I don't. It's foolishness. Now, we do have bots on this channel, apparently, and they're not the nice kind of bots. They're not cool, folks. They're malicious, and don't click on the links. Apparently, we are very famous, though. I don't know how to say this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Apparently, that's how you say it, but don't click on them, folks. It's not my intent at all. And, I mean, all I have to say is, the only times I've seen these bots are on really big YouTube channels. Obviously mine isn't that big, which is disappointing in many ways, but one way or another, don't click on the bots, folks. Don't feed the trolls and don't click on the bots. Now, a new Star Wars movie is apparently going to be coming by December 2025. We'll probably find out more information in April, which is when Star Wars Celebration is happening. And, Star Wars Celebration's like the big event, or whatever you want to call it, convention, I guess. I think this year it's in Europe. They should be making more announcements about that, but apparently a bunch of the Disney executives, Lucasfilm, and all those people have been saying they really want a Star Wars movie in theaters by December 2025, which is interesting to me. Curious if they'll ever let Rian Johnson record or make his trilogy that they promised him they'd let him make. We can talk about that a different time. Not my cup of tea necessarily, but I might give it a try. Now, something that has been established for a while but was news to me, I just recently watched the Squid Game show, which is a crazy show. I'm not going to give you spoilers, whatever, but the main character, the lead actor for that one, became famous because of Squid Game and is now going to be the lead of a new show, which is a Star Wars show, which is called Acolyte. It's set 100 years before the Phantom Menace, and it's during the High Republic. It's like the golden age of the Jedi. I'm very interested to see how this all transpires. Like, Yoda is still the Grand Master of the Jedi. They all just wear different uniforms. Should be an interesting thing to explore as we go along. I don't know. I'd rather explore backwards in Star Wars, to be honest, instead of forwards. I hope that the new movies are going to be even farther back. My guess is that they're going to continue the nonsense from the sequel trilogy. And I don't hate everything about the sequel trilogy. There were good things. I find myself disinterested to the extreme. Like, you kill all my favorite characters and leave episode 8 basically canceled by 9, so we essentially just have episode 7, kind of. I don't know, but Disney mishandled it, or LucasArts, or whatever. I would love it if they would just stop messing with things and actually do something awesome. I don't have a bad attitude. In fact, I like a lot of the stuff they're putting out. But one thing that I want to point out, folks, is if you get a membership, purchase a membership through this channel, and I think there's only one available right now. You can have access to my streams that for the JC fights that I do not, in fact, make into YouTube videos. So I already have, I think, 5 of them accessible to members only. You guys can purchase that membership. I think it's a monthly membership. I'm new to the membership thing. As you join, I think there's a space that we can chat and do all that stuff. We can get emotes. I'm not really sure all the things that happen. I'm sure that Arnold would be able to explain it better. This is something new to me, but you know, to those of you who want more Xerath content, who want more streams, and these streams, that I mean, they're just the live, like that's all it is. It's just from start to finish, just my whole stream. Nothing changed, and there's also not going to be ads except for at the very start and at the very end. So you can watch something for 3 hours, just have it going on in the background, and you know, watch that stuff. And it's exclusive to members only for now. It's just an experiment, folks. Let me know what your thoughts are. And you know, it's a great way if you wanted to help support the channel just a little bit more than you already were. It would be fantastic and appreciated. Now, in terms of actual game news, Cornered, the buff on Scarif Rebel Pathfinder from Conquest, is going away, at least the non-dispellable version of it. And so a lot of people are saying that, you know, so, okay, let me rewind for just a sec. A lot of people used that as the bug for it as a way to farm a lot of the really tough feats. And this is a very grindy Conquest version, folks. There's no way around it. It's very, very grindy. And Conquest is already too grindy for my personal preferences. I don't love Conquest as a game mode. However, I will say this. I lost the first time I attacked that node, because even though it says that he's going to get cornered on the little description thing, and it says nowhere that he's just going to get it forever and you need to bring something that can kill him permanently that denies revives. And so I brought in a strong enough team. I would have 3-starred it easy, but I lost. I timed out because I couldn't kill the dude. And how many thousands or maybe even millions of energy did they just score off of that? I mean, how many people in fact beat it the first try? Maybe a lot. I don't know. Maybe one of the requirements had something in it that would permanently kill Scarif Rebel Pathfinder. I do regret that we don't get to use it to farm a bunch of feats. However, I do think it's a really negative thing to go into. Like, you never know if you're gonna go into a node. How do you know that it's like, oh, I'm gonna auto lose? Like, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm just gonna auto lose this. Like, that feels bad. I don't love that, honestly. I think that was an unintended consequence from CG, and I don't blame them for changing it. I think it's BS that I had to lose. I was just mandated. It was like, hey, you can't win this. Like, you brought a good team in, but you just can't beat this guy. I think that is not really okay. And even though it turned out to be something that really helped us, in a way that was unfortunate, because now people are just mad and they're reading it as CG is trying to hurt us by not allowing us to have this. Yeah, I kind of do wish that we still had it available. Maybe they should leave it there now that we're all used to it or something. I just thought that it was total BS that I went into the node with no warning that, hey, you just auto-lose this, Xerath. I don't think that this is the statement from CG that everyone is taking it as. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm gonna sound like a shill today. I have a lot of defending of CG to do, apparently. I don't know. Today I'm a little more positive about them, even as I find myself very frustrated with a lot of the things that they continue to do. Now, I mean, I just have to be honest and true to myself, right? Like, I'm not gonna just manufacture anger for the sake of anger. That's not really what this channel's about. It's about trying to give a fair shake to everything and see things through a little more rational lens. So, that being said, speaking of rational lenses, I was very encouraged by the fact that Discord went and changed their initial ruling for the To Catch a Cheater Discord. It's the Discord server where people just post like, hey, is my opponent a cheater in GAC? You know, like, are they cheating? I don't know. And then, you know, a lot of people review it, and eventually it's submitted to CG, who then does go and ban people based off of evidence, real evidence, and CG actually, for real, does ban people for cheating. Sometimes it takes forever. I'm not saying that their system is great, but this was a wonderful tool that was taken from us. The you know, Sig was attacked, and you know, like, the whole Discord server was shut down, and now a lot of people appealed it, and it's back. So I was encouraged by that. Hooray for the player base on that. That's a definite win, and a definite win for Sig. My congratulations to him as well for being reinstated in turn. So all right, the Riva mission is harder. We all apparently know that. Like, you know, they didn't tag the Jawa scavenger as a Jawa. Apparently they just made it so that the mission's going to be harder. And I mean, they finally fixed it. They gave us one more territory battle to do it the easy mode way. So my guild got 49 out of 49. My alt guild got some comparable number to that because the mission was super easy. And now, with the thermals, there's a ton of discussion going on how to actually handle it. That means, like, putting a bunch of protection modding on your characters, using all sorts of different arrows. And the reason this isn't zoomed in is that this is just one of many, many guides out there on how people think the new mission needs to be run and how it needs to go. I don't know that this is the best way, and so I'm not making this publicly available to anyone. This isn't mine to begin with. It's just one that I randomly found, advocating for a bunch of crit, avoid arrows, and one accuracy arrow. And, you know, you want a lot of speed, you want a lot of protection, all this stuff. And I mean, I'm not saying that this is wrong. It very well could be the best out there right now. I'm not sure. I just don't want to put my stamp of approval on something that I don't know if it's going to work or not. And I haven't put any thought into it or research. I do want to say that that kind of stuff is out there. It's going to be a significantly more complex mission, though, folks. And I don't really know how to think about all of this. I know, you know, I was said a while ago that that the bigger people in the bigger guild, people with bigger accounts, people like, we're in the same boat as the free-to-play players. And I guess I want to make sure that you understand. I'm not saying that this doesn't suck for people who haven't worked on these shards a lot. Like, I'm gonna have 200 shards going into this. It's going to be relatively easy for my guild to be able to get Riva unlocked now, because I happen to be in a bigger guild with more spenders, etc. And, you know, that it's going to take other people who don't have those advantages that I do. It's going to take them significantly longer because this mission is probably a lot harder. The thing I was trying to say, and I don't think I communicated it that well, is I don't think that CG was specifically trying to give a boost to spenders. They try to give a boost to spenders in a lot of ways. I don't think this is one of them. I think that they saw that something wasn't operating the way they wanted it to, and they fixed it as soon as they could. I mean, you have to say yay for fixing bugs, even as it kind of just screws one group of people. And unfortunately, that is the free-to-play community more than the pay-to-win community, which it feels bad. I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna sound like a shill this video, I think, just because I don't think the CG was only trying to help the spenders. I think they just saw a fix that they needed to make and made it. I don't see a conspiracy there, folks. I don't. I almost never see conspiracies, though. Probably because I'm a little dumb. Now, someone asked a question in the last plan, and I decided to keep it as a topic to discuss for this plan. The question, so it's just like two parts. One of them is, how big of a part do you believe if Datacrons play in Grand Arena? Do you think there needs to be changes to the Datacrons rerolling system so others have equal opportunity to gain similar crons to their opponents? Yeah, so I think the second part first, that's the most easy. I hate that a lot of Datacrons are weighted. Like, if there's something I just loathe right now in the game, There's actually a ton of things about Datacrons that I find frustrating. Like the UI, the user interface is horrendous. But also the fact that everyone doesn't really have equal access to a lot of the different really powerful abilities unless they get lucky is a really, really big thorn in my side. It's a thing that I just hate. I hate that we don't have the option to get some of these really powerful Datacrons unless we do a ton of rerolls, and if you don't have access to the reroll mats, you're just kind of sorry out of luck. I don't think that is awesome at all. It's just another version of those loot boxes. It's just hidden behind RNG, and I think it's total BS. I wish that it was just an equal playing field. If there's 6 options, you should be able to roll a dice, and it's an equal chance that you get any of those options instead of some of them being weighted. And CG has admitted that there's some of them are going to be weighted, so it's not just speculation. It is fact. It's speculation on which ones are weighted because they don't tell us, but it is something that happens. Now, how big of a part do I think Datacrons play in Grand Arena? So Kyber 1, lots. Kyber 2, some. Kyber 3, a tiny bit. The rest of it, I realize it's the Wild West out there. Some people are going to have some Datacrons, some people aren't. And I don't think you need Datacrons to enjoy Grand Arena or to win. I think that the mass access to Relic 5, maybe that'll change eventually. It seems like they're trying to give us more ways to earn relics and everything, or at least they're angling for that. They haven't quite yet done that, but I do think that a ton of players just don't even have access to them, or if they do, they just have access to like for a couple different squads, and for the most part it's inaccessible to people. I get that. I do find myself confused with that in mind, that a ton of a disproportionate amount of people are saying they hate Datacrons, and I'll look up their name or something, and it's like, well, you hate Datacrons so much and you never face anyone. You're like in Erodium. You have not faced someone with a single Datacron in GAC for like 3 seasons. I looked up a couple different people, and maybe those are just weird sample sizes, but people who are complaining and saying that the Datacrons are ruining the game are not even facing Datacron. It's very confusing to me, to be honest. I'm not trying to go to war here against people who hate Datacrons. Believe it or not, I hear you. I don't want to be forced to do things. At this point, it's like mods. If you don't want to play with mods, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna tell you that you have to do it. But I mean, they're that level of significance once you get to a certain point in the game. That mods are crazy important, like almost from the very start. Datacrons are like less important, but still, I mean, a little bit important. Just a little bit. So I guess I just, yes, they're very important. They're important for endgame players, essentially. And I think that the other aspect to Datacrons, folks, and honestly, like this is kind of like the title discussion here, is I feel like Datacrons, in fact, open up opportunities to play the roster you want to play. I have my alternate account, which has 2 Galactic Legends. I have 8.4 million GP, which is a big account. It's a lot more GP than most people have, but I only have 2 Galactic Legends. I am in Kyber 2 and consistently face people with 5, 6, or 7 Galactic Legends. Someone just recently placed 7 GLs and Malgus on me, and you can see the shortened version of the video. It's already been out for a little bit. You guys can go watch that on my channel, or I think tomorrow is when I'll be releasing the full alt video, and you guys can watch the whole process of how I decided and discovered which things I should be using and stuff. But I was able to take out all 7 Galactic Legends and Malgus with only 2 Galactic Legends of my own, and the reason I could do that was, for the most part, because of Datacrons enabling me to do that and farming them, paying attention to what the meta is going to be and taking advantage of it. Now, that's a unique playstyle, and I know that not a lot of people are going to find it appealing, but what I find unappealing is finding a match where you're like, oh, I only have 4 Galactic Legends. The other guy I'm facing has 6. I guess I'll just auto lose because if he places all 6, I don't know how to kill 2 of them. it doesn't make for a fun game to me. I want to have the off-meta options, and Datacrons provide that opportunity. I'm not saying you have to play Datacrons, and I know that it can be a little bit onerous to try consistently swap out your Datacrons and trying to make them work. I wouldn't be able to play the off-meta stuff that I do without them, though. And that's the stuff that I've wanted to play from the very start, ever since we had Galactic Legends in the first place. So it's just something to keep in mind, folks, that I don't think Datacrons are all bad. In fact, they open the possibility for me to be able to play the way I want to play, which is pretty great. On a mostly free-to-play account, it's a lot of fun. Remember, folks, to dismantle your Datacrons early if you have Datacrons, because if I were to dismantle all of them early, I would essentially just get rid of a ton of the data cache, which is a really frustrating element to Datacrons. I know that I was just singing their praises, but their implementation does leave quite a bit to be desired in a lot of different avenues and areas. So this is something to keep in mind. They're all going to be dusted in 5 days from now. You can see the little counter up top here, right next to the projecting power, and that's when that set 5 is going to be dismantled. Set 7 has a lot of really cool stuff. I'll be making a video about that probably on Monday. So stay tuned for that so you guys can know what to farm in Cronquest, though there's a few really good ones out there. Rose Tico, surprisingly, is good. We also have something from our erstwhile community manager here with Fun with Colors. When he made his announcement for the Crons, the Datacron sets for set 7, he highlighted 3 different random things. I have no idea what they mean. He just likes colors. He's trolling us about Red 5 probably, and I'm just not smart enough to see it. I'll let you guys decode it, but I just thought I'd point it out. Yay, fun with colors. I'd rather have fun with flags. I think that's it, folks. I'm going to let you go. I'm wiped out after doing this a bunch of times. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Thank you all so much for watching. And remember that in all things, Xerath prevails. I think I even turned on the mic this time. Take care, folks.